Hi, everyone.
Here.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks. All right, so we're right on time. I am just going to switch the screen and then I'm going to give the power over to you. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. We are going to be talking about Zolo Mortgages. So we have Mahir here, who is our principal broker. Mahir, welcome, and thank you for joining me on today's webinar.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So I know that you're going to be taking over my screen. So
Yeah.
let's just troubleshoot that and we can get started.
No problem. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting set up. Okay, perfect. I think I am ready. Share screen. Continue. Share. Okay. My screen is up.
Perfect. Yes, I see it.
Right. Give me 1 second. Just getting a couple of things sorted. Okay, so hi everyone. Like Jane said, my name is Mahir. I'm principal broker at Zolo Mortgages. I think I know a lot of names in the meeting today. I was previously a growth manager here, so looks like some of my previous team is here. We also have some mortgage agents joining us today. So later on in the meeting, what I'll be doing is I will be introducing the mortgage agents to you, and maybe you can network with them. We actively encourage our Zolo real estate agents to work with our Zolo mortgage agents. So our mortgage agents will just have about 1 or 2 minutes. They'll introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them, and they'll go from there. I'll try to get their phone numbers up on the screen. I don't have that pre-prepared, so I will do that as they excuse me, as they are ready. So let's tell you a little bit about Zolo Mortgages, because I think there's actually quite a lot of new names that I haven't seen before. One more person. Yeah, I think a lot of people are newer to the brokerage. So Zolo Mortgages started operating in February of this year. That's when we were licensed, and then we actually had all of the technology set up running about a month and a half ago. So we're fairly young, but we are very, very active. Just this past month, we've added 12 mortgage agents to the team, and we have a team lead who will be joining us as well. His name is Jason Singh. So Jason was formerly the principal broker at Broker Financial Group. So we have a great, great team of really seasoned vets joining us, people who know what they're doing in this industry. And Steve is joining us as well. Hey, Steve. Steve from Ottawa. So yeah, that brings up a great point. We are licensed in Ontario. We're currently working across Ontario from Ottawa to Windsor. If you have a deal, give us a shout. We have lenders who can help you out. I guess that's a great slogan for this brokerage. We are also shortly going to be licensed in BC and Alberta, so we will be having almost national presence in terms of who we can service. And yeah, we have some great products, some great rates. So I'm actually going to hop over and show you our lender spotlight page. So these are all the lenders we're currently working with. We have a huge list of lenders, and currently we're able to service 100% of inquiries that are coming in through Zolo Mortgages online platform. So First National, Marathon Mortgage, Radius Financial, Lendwise, Merits, RFA, Equitable Bank on the AAA side, as well as the alternate side. Let's see, who else do we have here? Oh, CMLS. CMLS is a big name. And yeah, we have quite a lot of lenders that we can deal with, quite a lot of rates on the AAA side alone. I don't think I've even touched on the alternate side. we are currently submitting to Equitable on the alternate side. We also have access starting probably the end of next week to Home Trust. And today I was on the phone with Duca, and everyone is really excited to start working with us. First National also has kind of an all-day program. So that's our reach. We have a lot of rates. We have a lot of products. Our clientele is probably the same as what you see. So we're dealing with Canadian citizens, permanent residents, new to Canada, um, whatever else you can think of. Essentially, we're currently funding those deals, and yeah, it's pretty much across the board. Any LTV, we can go up to GDSs of, TDSs of 65, 50 with certain lenders. Once we're on board with Duca, which should be by the end of this month, we will be able to qualify on contract rate. So that means that we'll be able to probably get your clients more purchasing power than they currently have available to them. And yeah, I think that from an operation standpoint, that's our overview. It's been a really, really long month and a half for me. I've basically been putting in 12 hours a day. But we've gotten to a point where we are completely functional. We have a lot of access, and we are doing great. So previously, these meetings were about how you as a real estate agent should be pre-qualifying your clients or speaking to your clients about mortgage related issues. We would actually prefer that if you decide to work with Zolo Mortgages, you leave those questions to us. And if your clients do ask questions like, what can I qualify for? What are my monthly payments? What is the best rate you have available? Direct them to one of the mortgage agents that I'll be networking you guys with today. We will have quite a lot of the team in. Some people are not available, but I will make sure that, eventually all Zolo real estate agents know all Zolo mortgage agents. Yes, let's talk a little bit about I don't know, what would you like to talk about? Oh, let's talk a little bit about the rates. So yeah, currently we are at rock bottom rates. I think this is the lowest that Canada's ever had interest rates for mortgages. We're qualifying at 4.79%. Some lenders do make exceptions on that qualifying rate. So when we do have Duca, we should be able to qualify a contract, like I mentioned. For now, if you do have any mortgage inquiries, how do you send those mortgage inquiries into us? My preference is, if it's a Zolo lead inquiry, grab this email. It's mortgages@zolo.ca, and just copy and paste the URL for the client into the email. Give me a brief summary and say, hey, look, this client is looking for pre-approval. They have a live deal. They want to refinance so that they can buy an investment property. Give me a brief summary of what exactly they're looking for, so I'm not going in blind. And then I will assign those leads to agents based on availability. We try to get leads serviced as soon as possible within, like, let's say, if you send us a lead between business hours, between 9 to 5, we will call that client back within the hour of you sending that lead to us. We keep you in the loop as well. So when I assign a lead that you send me in, right now what we're doing is I am CCing the agent I assign it to, and it's up to the mortgage agent to keep you in the loop. Like, hey, look, I tried to call the client, but they didn't pick up, or we call the client, and this is what we discussed in terms of a pre-approval. In the near future, probably by the middle of next year, this will be a very automated process between Zolo Real Estate and Zolo Mortgages. Within your CRM, you may have noticed already, but there are buttons for mortgages. I think I have a thing open here. So there is a mortgage button over here, but it's not functional, as you can see. So in the near future, we will have all of this stuff working, and we will be able to integrate very shortly into this system. Give me one sec, I just had a message come in. Let's see, we've got one person waiting. I'll add those in. Let's take a look at what I had kind of planned for this previously. I'm open to any Q&As, and we will get going with I'm trying to hide this. Sorry, give me one sec. How do I move this? There we go. Sorry. We'll get going with the mortgage agent introductions shortly. Did anyone from the real estate side, maybe you can throw this in chat, did you guys have any questions regarding the mortgage side, how we work? I think I've gone over pretty much everything. And by the way, this meeting will be recorded. So if you feel like you missed anything, or if you came in late, don't worry, it will be up on YouTube. But maybe even in your regular day-to-day, any questions in terms of mortgage stuff?
Hey, here. I don't have questions coming in yet, but if you maybe want to do the overview that we presented last time, as you said, I know there's lots of new people here. So just giving sort of an overview as to what we're, how we can support the realtors and how they should be sending in referrals to us. Sure. And then of course, talking a little bit about that referral fee that they do get when they send in mortgage applications our way.
Yeah, actually that referral fee has stopped. So we're no longer offering the referral fee. Eventually, Zolo leads will have to come through Zolo Mortgages. So, yeah, that's one aspect of it. Let's take a look at what else I can cover in terms of operations. Like I mentioned, if you do have a lead, send it in to mortgages@zolo.ca. I will handle the inquiries and assign them to agents as required. In terms of qualification or what we can qualify on, don't worry too much. Send us any lead that sounds interested. You as a real estate agent have to be asking the client the question, have you been pre-qualified or have you talked to a mortgage specialist? If the answer is no, even if the answer is yes, I'd like for you to just tell them, I have a great mortgage team on my side. They'll reach out to you and they'll try to beat the rate that you've been promised, or they'll get you pre-qualified and let you know what the monthly payments for your purchase will be. A lot of times you as real estate agents are dealing with clients that have no realistic expectation of what they can afford or what they can qualify for or even what their income gets them. That's our job as mortgage agents and brokers to give them the spoon of truth or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I've looked at some files that are kind of laughable, and this is kind of where our team is beneficial to you. Where in that, you don't have to wait until you're submitting a conditional offer to find out that your client doesn't qualify for a mortgage. I know that's happened a lot to you guys as real estate agents. I guess the question is are you pre-qualified is just a little bit intimidating or a little bit too intimidating to clients, but you have to realize that this is something that you need to be screening for upfront. I'm speaking from experience. I realize that these are horror stories, but as a growth manager, I can't tell you how many times I saw real estate agents who had put in 2 months or 3 months with a client, gotten to the point where they have an accepted offer on condition of finance and found out that the client doesn't qualify. I'm not even joking. I think I saw multiple situations where the clients didn't have enough down payment for the 20% down on a $1 million purchase, and then they had to back out on finance. And the agent spent 2 or 3 months figuring this out. So it's in your benefit to refer your clients to a mortgage broker like Zolo Mortgages and let us tell you, look, this is someone that you should really not be focusing on. They're not qualified and they're not realistic as buyers. Or this is someone that's a hot lead and that's someone that you should really focus on because they seem very highly qualified. Cool. So I think that covers that aspect of it. There's one question in from Leela. Oh, hey, Leela. Actually, Leela had sent in an inquiry via email. So I'll just read out her questions. Leela is asking, I have a prospect who is in the process of pre-qualification with RBC. He's open to other options, but was wondering if too much dipping in his credit search will affect his credit score. How to proceed? Yeah, that's an interesting question. That's kind of where we as mortgage brokers excel as well. That's one way that you can sell us that, look, with the mortgage broker, if you work with them, it's just one credit pull, and then they'll be able to shop around your file to multiple lenders for multiple rates and multiple products. In this case, RBC does not have a broker channel. It's only a branch channel. So if your client is pre-approved by RBC, I think that tells me that they're going to be pre-approved on our side as well. Addressing that issue regarding credit score, the small credit hit that your client is going to take to get credit checked by us could save them tens of thousands of dollars in terms of interest. I know that in terms of new purchases, that RBC doesn't have the most competitive rates. So yeah, definitely just tell your client, look, okay, fine. So for 2 months or 3 months, your credit score may be slightly hit, but you're going to be saving a lot of money in the future if the rate that we give you is, 10 basis points, 20 basis points, whatever it ends up being, lower than whatever RBC is giving you. There are exceptions to that rule where, maybe it's a borderline credit score for the client. Let us speak with the client and screen them, and we'll try to judge what the best way of proceeding is. But we're able to qualify on our highest GDS, TDS all the way down to 601 as a credit score on Equifax. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yes, there's a lot of questions about if someone has a mortgage certificate, can they become an agent with Zolo Mortgages? Right now, we are extremely picky about who we choose to join the mortgage team. And I will say that with full transparency. I don't have the time to be training new to business agents because there's so much stuff that we're missing that I have to be in charge of. And literally, it's only me. But if you know someone who is a motivated agent and is willing to work with the sales team, what I can recommend is we have our team lead. His name is Jason Singh. He's an amazing, amazing coach. Your new to business agents can be part of that team, but there will be a different commission structure for a team lead agent than there will be for a direct to Zolo agent. Regardless of the commission structure, it's completely worth the business, but the person joining has to be extremely motivated. And, I'm looking for people who are doing this full time. I'm not looking for part-time agents. I'm not looking for people who are going in between licenses. It's just not the type of people we're looking for. We need really, really focused agents here on the mortgage side. First-time home buyer. Okay, that's a good question. Yes, that's something that I did cover in these meetings previously. So if you do have any questions about first-time home buyer, what incentives are available, check out the YouTube channel for some of the previous videos we've made on Zolo Mortgages. I actually went into detail about how you as a real estate agent can talk to your client about the incentives that are available for first-time home buyers. There's different programs. So very, very few people actually qualify for this, but there's a program called the First-Time Home Buyer Incentive, where the government of Canada will provide a matching down payment for certain clients in very low income situations. So you can use the calculator and find out if your clients qualify. Annual income before taxes, I think it's capped at 3 times or something, but we'll just do an example, and the down payment is, I don't know, we'll try $11,000. And this is going to be for a resale existing house. You click continue. Interest rate, just put 2%. And if your client qualifies, it will tell you, yes, you may qualify. So it's placetocallhome.ca. This is something you can go over with your clients and just say, this may increase your ability to purchase a home. But as you can see, there is a very limited maximum purchase price to this program. That's why we almost never see this in use. but for certain markets, this does make sense. In terms of the actual first-time home buyer benefit, which is the RRSP loan, the RRSP loans are available for anyone who's a first-time home buyer anywhere in the world. That's an important distinction to make. If your client has owned a home in another country, another province, then they are not eligible. There are, and I would defer this to a lawyer, but there are instances where if a client has not owned a home in the past 5 years or something, they may requalify for the first-time home buyer incentive. And that's up to the lawyer to figure out. That is $35,000 from your RRSP. And it's actually an RRSP loan, so you're supposed to pay that back over 20 or 15 years, I can't remember. But that is something that we do see a lot of clients using, and there is a benefit there in terms of tax savings. So that's, when you're structuring a deal, it's a great tool to use. Yeah, how are we doing? We're at 11:20. And how many people do we have from the mortgage side? I think we have pretty much everyone from the real estate side who's going to join us. We have a couple of mortgage agents in here as well. So maybe I will start introducing you to some of the mortgage agents here. Is that okay, Jane? Are we okay going that way?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start out with David. David, are you okay to introduce yourself right now?
Yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first, David. David is new to the brokerage. He is here as a full-time mortgage agent. And David, just tell us a little bit about your experience in the industry, where you were working previously, and yeah, a little bit about yourself personally.
And you want me to fill 1 to 2 minutes? Is that right?
I don't think that's gonna be a problem. You got quite an interesting life.
Well, it would be a lot easier if we had a little wine and cheese going here. I could do 20 minutes with a little wine and cheese, but yeah, you say I'm new to the Zolo, but yeah, no, I'm kind of newer to the business in general. So thank you to Mahir, of course, for carrying me through this. All the other agents out there, the real estate guys. I mean, you might be wondering about this team, but we have a fantastic guy that's running us, and also my team leader, Jason's full of motivation and energy. So you got a good group of people here that will help out your clients, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm pretty new, so without Mahir, I'd still be back on Friday trying to sign into the software. Without his help, we wouldn't be too far. If you want to know personally, I came from the flying world, actually, and obviously things in the world are a little different right now, and pilots are not needed so much these days. So we've gone a different way right now, and who knows what the future is going to be. But I'm having a good time here. So all the agents out there, if you have clients that are looking for mortgages, I'm your guy. Yeah, okay. Forget what everyone else has to say today. Dave Lowry is the one you want. My number is going to show up there. But I'm kind of kidding. Just all of us will be just fine. And, we'll take care of your people, I'm sure. And that's it. I might go get a little wine and cheese now just to carry on through this thing. But why don't I pass it off to somebody else? And
sure.
And we'll see what they got to say. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David. Yeah, David has a life hack. He is best friends with Kevin Ellie, who's our broker of record on the real estate side. So David and Pierre actually both are joining us from the pilot industry. These guys have been really, really professional, and I think that it's a great match for the mortgage industry for these guys to be joining us. So thanks, Dave. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, let's move on, and we'll go to Abhishek. Abhishek, are you available to speak?
Yes, I am.
Hey, Abhishek. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So actually, let me figure out how to send the phone numbers for. You know what? I'm going to throw these phone numbers. How should I do this? Maybe I'll just make it in a slide. Did I close that thing? Anyway, I'll throw the phone numbers in the slide so that you guys know who the agents are and how to reach them. So go ahead, Abhishek.
Thanks for allowing me for this, Meher. Just to introduce myself, I have been in the industry for almost 7 years, with the broker channel for at least 3 years now. So in the previous assignments, I've been doing this part-time, but taking this role full-time now. And that's pretty much about me in terms of the career perspective. And also, I was hearing the conversation that Leela had a question regarding the credit check with the clients, right? Mm-hmm. So for that, I'm just sharing this thing from Equifax that says like, from the time that the first credit is pulled regarding the mortgages, it's a 45 days clock that takes over, right, in terms of credit checks. So in case client is shopping around with multiple lenders, that's okay. But again, as Mihir mentioned, that coming to the broker channel gives them a thing to shop around with multiple lenders at the same time. So that's something I have to add on the conversation. So yeah, that's pretty much from me.
Awesome. Thank you, Abhishek. I'm going to throw these numbers up, guys. Just bear with me. So this is Abhishek's email address, and this is Abhishek's phone number. Everyone, as you'll notice, is using basically the same platform you guys are. When you're discussing your client information with a mortgage agent, please make sure that you're sending it from your Zolo email address to a Zolo email address. Try not to use anything personal, and try not to use anything outside of the Zolo network, just because of security and you know, everything like that. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the past month and a half, and we don't want the client information to be compromised at all. Okay, so we'll keep going. Who else is here? We spoke with Dave. Joseph, are you free, Joseph? I think I unmuted you. You may have to unmute yourself if you're still there, Joseph. Okay, Joseph, not responding. I'll leave you unmuted. If you can unmute yourself later, that'd be great. How about Mandy? Mandy, are you around?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Mandy. Mandy is also a mortgage agent here at Zolo. I'll let her introduce herself.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Mandy. I've been in mortgages for about 4 years now, but I've been in the real estate front, whether it be brokerages, condo builder, relocation, property management, probably for about 20 years now. And also I worked at Canada Post for about 17, 18 years as well. So I was kind of all over the place a little bit, but my interest is, you know, mortgages and real estate, obviously, and I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy. There's Mandy's contact info. Let's see, who did I miss? If I'm missing anyone, please, you know, mention it in the Slack channel, guys, on the mortgage side. Dowd? Oh, Dowd's here. Hey, Dowd, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Dowd is a mortgage agent here. He's part of the Jason Singh team. So, Dowd, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it's like working with Jason.
Oh, it's great. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dowd. I'm new to the mortgage world over here, new to the business. I'm previous to this, I was in the car business, in car sales and everything. I've done at least like about 7 years in that, and just, you know, here full time. Great working with Jason, always available, super energetic, really knows how to get you pumped up. And same with you, Mahir. Just you know, thank you for setting us up with this, and you know, with the leads and everything coming, it's great. I'm excited to be here, and yeah, let's just
Awesome.
get
Thanks, Dowd.
going. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dowd is part of Jason Singh's team, and Jason Singh, like I mentioned, is our team lead for newer agents of the brokerage. He is the previous broker of, pardon me, he's the previous principal broker at Broker Financial Group. So he's got quite a lot of experience under his belt. And okay, special guest joining us, Jane. So Jane Stevens is also joining us in the mortgage side. Hey, Jane.
Hey, yeah, so I'm super excited. So most of you guys know me. I do the training here at Zolo, so I do have my real estate license. I've been in real estate for 7 years. I started in Vancouver and transferred my license to Toronto when I moved out here. So yeah, super excited to be adding mortgages. So if you have clients that you want to make sure that they're pre-qualified, definitely send them our way. I'll be working closely with Mihir and the rest of the team. And definitely part of my process, similar to what I do in real estate, is just to really walk your clients through the process so they understand, they're informed. So definitely send them my way, and I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Yeah, so we've got a really, really good team of agents. I am really excited to work with everyone here. And this is sort of different than how we've been doing it previously for these meetings, but every time that you guys come back for a Zolo Mortgages meeting, we'll do this monthly. I'll try to introduce you to new mortgage agents. I'll introduce you to new mortgage products that we have. And then we'll go over some previous deals that we funded so that you guys know what we're capable of. Yes. Okay, so there was a question in here once again from Leela. Leela, you got some great questions today, so thank you very much. So Leela's question is, mortgage broker agent, would you help, as a mortgage broker or agent, would you help direct the prospect client as to how to access down payment strategies? Yes, that's very much part of our job. We do have access to help when it comes to if a client needs help with down payment. We can do, there's some different deposit loans, different down payment loans that we have access to, but more specifically, it's planning out the down payment for the client so that their existing equity is what they use. We can access down payments from either existing properties that clients can take equity out of. So I'm working on a deal with one of the agents here with the client who's out in Vancouver. He wants to buy and do a demolish of a property, and he owns 3 other homes. So we're going to try to refinance the other properties to get him the money that he needs instead of doing a construction loan. So that's how we're getting him the cash that he needs. We look at the overall portfolio that the client has when they come in terms of their down payment to find the best solution for them. We're really creative in where we get the cash. So, I'm not alluding to any sort of fraud, but what I'm trying to say is based on the client's portfolio, we can find liquidity in areas that other brokerages probably can't or other people don't look. So yeah, that's part of our job, and please feel free to refer your clients to us. We'll do our best. We have really experienced agents. Okay, so those were a couple of major questions there that we had. I'll just keep rotating through the agent slides so that if you guys want to take notes or if you want to take some screenshots or photos, you can from the agents that were introduced today. I'm also open to questions and answers at any time. My email, the best place to reach me is mortgages@zolo.ca. You can also call me if you like, if you have a question about mortgages. I am available. So if you go through, this is your Zolo CRM. If you look at tools and if you look at agent directory, just look for my name. My number is right here. It's 416-568-1751. If you've never met me before, just to recap, I spent almost a year here as a growth manager. Some of you may be familiar with me. So, with trusting me with your client info, don't worry. We take that with the utmost precaution. And we're here to make you guys money. So if you want to really look at it this way, Zolo Mortgages is being funded by Zolo Realty right now, but we are looking to become as profitable as possible. And yeah, we are basically going to be your hand-in-hand team member. That's what you can think of us as in funding deals. So bring us your hardest client, bring us whoever you need to. And I'm still open to questions, so if anyone can think of anything, any scenarios, let me know. I'd be happy to help you out. Did we miss anyone? I know Steve is here. Maybe I'll unmute him. Steve, are you around? Steve from Ottawa? Kinda, sorta, not really. Okay, looks like Steve's around, but his mic isn't unmuted. And how about Joseph? I had you unmuted. Joseph, are you still around? Do you want to try introducing yourself now? Can you get yourself unmuted? Okay, all right. So Jane is asking me to share a tool that we used last time. So let me bring that back up because I think it's a great tool for mortgage real estate agents as well. Since we have the time, here we are. Guys, this is a tool that's available to everyone on the internet, but we encourage you as real estate agents to use it at this time because this is a completely unbranded tool. It is there for your use. So let's take a look at what is going on. Why is this not loading? There we go. Okay, great. So this is at realtor.ca/calculator. Okay. This is a great tool to use when you're planning out scenarios with your clients. You can, of course, leave this to us, but in any scenario where you're just quickly sitting down with a client and they're saying, hey, look, I don't know what I qualify for. Can you give me a rough idea? So you can build this out as a scenario. Let's say that your client's looking for something, you know what, let's be more realistic. Let's say 650. And then you click on go. This builds out a couple of scenarios for you. So in this case, it's 4. It tells you that what the minimum down payment is. So the minimum down payment is a changing amount above $500,000. $40,000 would be what your client needs. And at the minimum down payment, they'll be paying mortgage insurance premium. Okay, so this is a $25,000 almost mortgage insurance premium your client would be paying. These are things that we on the mortgage side always disclose to our clients. And yeah, if you're looking for just something to use calculation wise, put in 2% for now. It's a nice round number. It'll give your clients an idea of what exactly their total mortgage monthly payments will be. Oh, sorry, this should be around 25 years, not 5. This is the amortization period. Yeah, so here you go. This is a realistic number of what your client should be paying monthly. And you can also do stuff like, are they a first-time home buyer? And then it goes through the land transfer tax rebates available to them. Okay, and the land transfer tax, if you're not familiar with land transfer tax, it is geographic specific. I hope that makes sense. But if your property that your client is buying is in Toronto, here we go. You'll see that there's a municipal land transfer tax involved. That's really important to disclose to your client because 10 grand on a $650,000 purchase at the time of closing is a huge, huge cost for your client to bear. So make sure they're aware of everything they're getting into, especially based on the city they're looking at. If they move from Toronto to Markham or Toronto to Richmond Hill, for example, they're going to be saving a lot of money on that land transfer tax. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. Okay. We will keep going with this calculator. There's a cash needed section. There's a monthly expenses section. So you can go over things like phone bills, internet bills, everything that they would need. Interest rate risk. This is a great screen. So like I mentioned previously, we are at rock bottom interest rates. This is showing about, what is this, 13 years in the past. In the past, actually, in the history of Canada, I think we've just touched the bottom of the interest rates right now. We don't see that going anywhere. So yeah, that's perfect. This is actually a really useful tool as well. There's an amortization schedule that is built into this tool. So it will give your clients an idea of the total amount they're paying per year, interest and principal, and the balance remaining at the end of that year. So really, really well thought out, useful tool for you to work through scenarios with your clients. There is an individual land transfer tax calculator as well as an affordability calculator. The affordability calculator is probably the one that, if you're working backwards from a situation, you'll find really beneficial. And this is looking at gross income, so annual income before taxes. Let's say it's $75,000. And if there's a co-applicant, their information as well in terms of income. And then the property tax info. So you can grab this off of the MLS listing. Let's say 4,500 condo fees, if any. Let's go around 400, and heating costs, if any. So yeah, let's go with 100 for now. There's also the option to estimate for me, right? So you can take care of that stuff. The system can take care of that stuff for you. And then this is specific to your client. So debt payments. This is actually something we look really heavily on the mortgage side. What does your client have to pay in terms of a car payment or credit card payment or other loans? Other loans can be something like if your client owns another property, like a rental property, that can be in here. Let's just say $50 for credit card, $250 for the car, and we just go, how much can I afford? And then it builds out that scenario for you, okay? So the max purchase price is here, the total mortgage amount is here, and mortgage rates and everything are all used for you. So if your client is a first-time home buyer, you can build this out, and you can further use the tool to really build out a scenario. The best part is because this is branded right now as Realtor, you're not giving business away to anyone else, right? This is, you can say it's in your name, essentially, that you're using this tool. We're going to see about getting some kind of tools like this on the Zolo side as well. Right now, if you do have a client who you're prospecting, this is a great tool to use. I am going to throw this in the chat so that everyone can use it. And if you, because the chat will disappear at the end of this meeting, if you do want access to it, just go to realtor.ca, click on mortgage calculators, payment calculator, and it will take you right here, and everything is available for you. So this is a great tool to use, and I'm trying to see what else I can share with you guys. Yeah, let's see, what else do we have available? Why do I keep closing this thingy over here? Jane, do you think there's anything else that I'm missing here? I know that there's a structure to this meeting that I am not following, but I'm kind of winging it today.
I really thought sharing that calculator would be valuable again. I think that was useful for people last time, and for those of you guys who are new and new to Zolo, maybe hadn't seen that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that again. I think it's really useful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I use that a lot when I was out there in the field working these leads with Zolo clients, and I think that you guys should as well. Okay, so this is a question that you as real estate agents are going to be asked a lot. What is the current, like what is the best rate you can give me? The rates, like I showed you previously, are really competitive. They're always based on your client's qualifications, but to incentivize clients to come in and at least put an application. What we're saying is that right now, probably as you saw in our system as well, you can see the rate over here. For 5 year, it's somewhere around 1.7%. That's a fixed rate. Okay. For 3 year, it's also around 1.7, and that's a fixed rate as well. And then we have a variable rate, 5 year variable. Let's take a look at the variable rates. And 5 year filter, yeah, we're at about 1.8-ish. And we'll do what it takes to win the business in today's market. We have the ability to buy down the rates to a certain extent. So let us worry about what the most competitive rate we can offer your client is. Of course, it's on a case-by-case basis, but for you as real estate agents, it's really important to know. 1.8% on a 5-year variable, roughly. On a fixed 5-year, we're at around 1.7%, somewhere in that region. And on a 3-year fixed, we're at around 1.75, the middle 1.7s. So that's a great thing for you guys to be aware of. Yeah, there's some qualification questions. Leave that to us. Right now, the qualification ratios are really, really borderline for a lot of clients. If your client has good credit score, good income, but their TDS is a little bit too high because they have a lot of debt, we do have a lot of lenders who are able to help with that. It is going to be very close to the AAA rates, but there will be some premium. And yeah, what should I tell my clients about their mortgage? Of course, once again, I want to reiterate this. I don't think I can say this enough. Ask your clients if they've been pre-qualified or if they would like to speak to a mortgage specialist. Okay. I gave you an example previously of what's happening at the brokerage. I don't want that to continue. You have the tools and the resources and the people available now. Please use them. And yeah, this is what we're going to end with. At the end of the day, give them a real idea of the home they can afford and refer them to a mortgage specialist as soon as possible. So use the Realtor.ca tool, like I showed you. And we're not capable of getting someone who has $35,000 in income into a home that's $800,000 or $1 million plus, right? We can't work miracles, but we can work with our system. We can bend the rules a bit. We can get some exceptions, and we can get the clients qualified. And at the end of the day, you want to know that the people that you're spending time with, possibly months searching for homes, multiple offer situations, because that's what the market is like right now in certain price points. You want to make sure those people are worth your time, right? Yes. No, there are no referral incentives for mortgages anymore. Any Zolo client should be referred to Zolo Mortgages anyway, but I'll leave that to you guys to do. We can't really police what you're doing, but in the future, the leads that you're provided will be pre-qualified by us. And that's something that I think will benefit the whole brokerage. So buyer leads, will be vetted for you before you, or during probably the same time that you're working with them, okay? For the time being, please continue referring to mortgages@zolo.ca. And what should I tell my clients about their mortgage? Tell them that there are minimum down payment requirements. The minimum down payment requirements are easily calculated using the Realtor calculation tool. So I'll go over this again. If your client is putting, oops, let's add another 0 there. Yeah, if your client is buying a property at $500,000 or less, the minimum down payment is 5%. If the purchase price is between $500,000 and $1 million, the first 500 will be at 5%, and the next 500 will be at 10%. So in this case, the minimum down payment is 6.67. And any purchase price above $1 million, I hope that's enough zeros. Yes, it is. Minimum down payment is 20%. Okay? Keep that in mind when you're talking to people. If they're looking at a certain price point, you got to ask them right away, okay, the price of this home is above $1 million. Do you have $200,000 at least in your bank account? Do you have 20% available for the purchase price of this home? If the answer is no, they should start looking at another segment. Okay? They should start looking at another price point because it's not going to work. Qualifications are based on current debt. That's something you should definitely be aware of. As a real estate agent, I don't think you'll actually have the required insight into the actual debts of a client. So leave that to us, but make your client aware that if they do have a major amount of debt, of loans, of credit card payments, it's best to start paying that off as soon as possible. Okay. 90 days history of down payment is required. So we'll need bank statements showing the history of accumulated funds for 90 days. If your clients are new to Canada, permanent resident status, they are eligible for multiple programs. Okay, so permanent resident and Canadian citizen are we have multiple programs for them, but there's something that you should be aware of for anyone who's not a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, and it's that they are subject to a 15% non-resident speculation tax. Okay, so if your client is student visa, work visa, refugee, I believe, no, there's an exception for refugees, pardon me. Basically not permanent resident, Canadian citizen, or refugee status, there is a 15% tax. There are ways to avoid paying that tax, and the ways to do that are, if your client is getting permanent resident or Canadian citizen status in 5 years after paying the tax, they will get a 100% refund on the full tax amount. So, if they're in a rush to buy or something and they have the funds available, it kind of makes sense for them. They'll get the money back as soon as they reach PR or Canadian citizen status. There is exceptions for work permits as well, for if your client has been working in Canada for 12 months and can show history of filing taxes in Canada as a work permit, there is an exception for that. So bring those to us. We'll work them on a case-by-case basis. And refer. I can't say this enough. You met some of our agents today. These guys are great. They're really responsive. Everyone that you were networked with today is doing this as a full-time job. They're out here every single day with me working the leads. And yeah, absolutely, these guys are hungry for your business. So reach out to them on a regular basis. Don't be afraid to just call and ask questions. There's a guy who told me this. What do you think about it? Or there's a scenario like this. Do you think it's worth my time? We'll be happy to help you with those. We really want to foster the business. And I think, like I mentioned a couple of times here, we're part of your team. So we're here to answer your questions. Don't feel dissuaded at all to call, even if you feel like the question is stupid. Don't worry about it. What if my client doesn't qualify? Yes, we have a lot of clients who don't qualify on the AAA side. We have alternate, Alt-A, borderline lending, private lending. We have a lot of programs available for clients with high TDS. For clients with bruised credit, I think there's almost an abundance of programs available. And the rates are not much higher. So right now with Equitable, we're able to get rates between 2.99 and 3.1% for alternate lending. And it's actually been one of the most sought after products that our clients are looking for because of the rate. So the other part of it is flexibility and income proof and no guilt about lying. I can't stress this enough. We're running a legitimate business here. We are not doing any type of fraud. If we catch a client doing fraud, we immediately red flag it. The deal is canceled and we're no longer working with that client. So with these Alt-A, self-employed, stated income programs, what that allows us to do is it lets us get clients who wouldn't necessarily qualify with self-employed income to qualify. We can do things like gross up income on the T1. With the self-employed stated program, there's a lot of tax benefits and other expenses that generally wouldn't qualify in the net income that we can use as a grossed up income, as I mentioned. So that really helps in qualifying clients. And then pretty soon, right now we're able to qualify clients all the way up to 50% TDS. That's 50% GDS, 50% TDS. But with Duca, by the end of the month, we'll be able to qualify clients at up to 65% TDS, which is going to be crazy. And we'll be able to use contract rate to qualify as well. So even if your client hasn't qualified at Home Trust or Equitable, with Duca's program, we should be able to get them in line. And yeah, that shouldn't be a problem there. Yeah, we talked about this, the Realtor.ca mortgage qualification tools. There's also TRAB, land transfer tax calculator, and the mortgage insurance payment calculator as well. That's actually built into the Realtor.ca one, so ignore the rate hub link. And yeah, this is the last slide. I'll leave this up as we're just about at time. So we mentioned who we are. We are, of course, Zolo Mortgages. We are the sister company to Zolo Realty. And what can we do? I think we've covered that quite extensively as well. There's a lot of products, a lot of rates, and a lot of scenarios that we can solve for your clients. We have the team who you were introduced to, at least members of it or partial members. Not everyone could make it today. I have one guy who said that his wife was supposed to have a kid tomorrow, but they went in today. So, Manchitan, we're rooting for you, buddy, and congrats on the kid. And
That's exciting.
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Where are we licensed? Okay, this is right now we're in Ontario. It's a question we get asked a lot. Can we do stuff in BC? Can we do stuff in Alberta? Can we do stuff in Manitoba? The answer is yes. Even though we're currently only licensed in Ontario, we can do business in other provinces as well. Bring those files to us if there is, let's say, a relocation, or if there is someone that's moving from BC to Ontario even. We can facilitate both sides of the transaction on the real estate and the mortgage side. So yeah, we have tools for that. How do you refer? For now, email into mortgages@zolo.ca. Send me a link to the client's CRM page, or if it's a personal client, just give me information on name, phone number, email. I'll keep you in the loop as to who the client has been assigned to on the mortgage side. And yeah, we'd love to work with you to get some business closed. We're here to make money, everybody. So keep sending that stuff our way. I'm just going to check chat again, just in case if I missed anything. I don't think there's any further questions, right, Jane?
I think we got it all.
Who's that?
Can I ask a question? It's Layla.
Oh, hey, Leila, how are you?
I'm good. Can I ask a question? Just a quick
Of
one.
course. Yep.
So let's say the appraisal comes in and the appraisal is lower.
Sure.
And so what happens at that point? So if the client doesn't have any, funds, to facilitate the transaction to keep going, how would you guys help facilitate the?
Yeah. No, that's a tough situation. The appraisal, if an appraisal comes in low, there's only really one thing that we can do, which is appeal the appraisal. It's going to be a bit tough to get private funds for something beyond an appraised value of a home. But we will look at those at a case-by-case basis, because we do have private lenders who are willing to lend above appraised value. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I have seen those programs before. So yeah, give me those on a case-by-case basis. We'll try our best. We can't, the tough cases where appraisals don't come in, it's tough. And it's most likely, if you're in a conditional scenario, the advice I'm going to give you, if your appraisal comes in low, is walk, okay? In a conditional scenario, walk. But if you're in a firm deal and you need to close on this property, then that's something that we will try every avenue to address. Like I mentioned, appeal the appraisal. That's always a possibility. Or we will have to wiggle our way through some private lending and get you some funds on the home. And even that's iffy. So not a lot you could do, to be perfectly honest with you. Did that answer the question okay, Lila?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else, if you have anything to throw at us, because we're almost at time, feel free to reach out.
There's one last question in the chat, and then I think that will do it.
Okay, so how much percentage will the client be charging on getting the mortgage approval? How much percentage will the client be charging? I think the question is, how much percentage will we charge the client on getting a mortgage approval? That's a great question. There is a certain tiers of clients that you have to be aware of. So if the client qualifies for a AAA loan from one of the lenders that I showed you on Spotlight there, so anything below 2% or somewhere in the mid twos, we're not charging any fee to the client. We're paid by the lender. For loans that go alternate to people like Equitable or Home Trust, there is a 1% lender fee. If the deal is really complicated, then we may charge a brokerage fee on top of that as well. We are quite reasonable with what we charge. I'm not shy to tell a client that if they want to facilitate a loan in a very complicated situation, that they will have to pay us for our services. If something goes private, or if there's a first and second position with a private loan, then your client should expect a brokerage fee. And we do that on a case-by-case basis. We try to be as reasonable as possible, but realistically, there will be some cost if your deal goes alternate private or alternate. But for AAA deals, we get paid by the lender. Okay, so guys, we're at time, and I think that it was a very productive meeting. I look forward to working with everyone. Jane, if there's nothing left, is it okay if we end now?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, look forward to chatting with you again.
Talk soon. Okay, take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.